Hi, Recap Chaos here. Today we are going to watch a thrilling science fiction movie named Geostorm. Spoilers ahead. Watch out and take care. The movie portrays the year 2019 as a time when the world is facing severe challenges due to climate change. Natural disasters have become commonplace, and some countries are experiencing record-high temperatures. The scorching heat has resulted in the deaths of millions of people, and the tsunami has caused many people to flee their homes. In some regions, drought has caused water scarcity, leading to fatalities. Additionally, flooding is widespread in many areas. To address these issues, a group of 27 countries has joined forces and sent their brightest scientists, led by Jake, to create a satellite. The satellite, known as Dutch Boy, is a massive male-controlled climate control satellite that orbits the Earth. Its primary objective is to mitigate the impact of the worsening environmental conditions on the planet. Each country has received a satellite from Dutch Boy, which will enable them to control their climate. Together, these satellites create a network that covers the entire planet. Jake, who led the team of scientists in creating and controlling Dutch Boy, is from the United States. However, when the US government attempts to take over the project, Jake refuses to comply, leading to charges being brought against him. He ultimately loses his job, and control of Dutch Boy is handed over to the US government. Jake's brother Max, who was previously managing Dutch Boy, assists the US government in taking over control of the project, causing Jake to feel betrayed. Over the next 3 years, Dutch Boy successfully maintains a safe and stable environment on Earth. However, a remote village in Afghanistan suddenly experiences a drop in temperature, and the entire village is frozen, resulting in the deaths of its inhabitants. Suspecting that Dutch Boy may be responsible, the US president holds a meeting with key figures to investigate the matter. To keep the situation under wraps, Max suggests repairing Dutch Boy instead of covering up the incident. However, he needs Jake's expertise as the mastermind behind the satellite's creation. Despite his initial reluctance, Jake agrees to investigate the problem when Max deceives him into thinking that Dutch Boy is malfunctioning. The control of the satellites, including Dutch Boy, takes place in an international space station. Jake is set to travel there in a week to collect data from the old Afghan satellite, which was recently replaced. However, things take a turn when a scientist is killed in deep space after secretly collecting data from an old satellite. The next scene takes us to Hong Kong's climate control headquarters, where the head of the Hong Kong satellite is located. While running an errand to get food, he accidentally drops his eggs. After dropping his eggs, the head of the Hong Kong satellite is interrupted by some visitors. As he talks to them, he notices that his eggs are frying on the ground. Suddenly, an earthquake strikes, and lava bursts out of the ground, causing destruction everywhere. The head of Hong Kong attempts to flee the city in his car, but the road behind him collapses, forcing him to continue on foot. He stops at a bridge and sees the city being engulfed by the disaster, with buildings collapsing all around him. Desperate to access China's Dutch Boy satellite for help, the head of Hong Kong finds that his login is denied. He contacts Max, who also experiences the same issue. It becomes apparent that their system has been hacked, and access is restricted for everyone. The head of Hong Kong warns Max that if the climate continues to change and natural disasters become more frequent, a geostorm may occur, a catastrophic event that could potentially destroy the world. Hong Kong's leader quickly hides upon witnessing the frying eggs and the ensuing earthquake. Later, the people who entered his office take his laptop and begin accessing and hacking Dutch Boy's system. Realizing that someone is illegally accessing and hacking the satellite, Max seeks the help of a hacker on his team to investigate. Meanwhile, Jake prepares for his mission and drops off his daughter with her mother before heading to the International Space Station. There, he is tasked with investigating the scientist's death, the accident in Afghanistan, and the incident in Hong Kong. He holds meetings with relevant parties and personally scans each country's satellite for flaws, as they can be replaced if needed. With over 1,000 satellites in total, this is a massive undertaking. Jake is shocked to learn that the mission was led by his own brother, Max. As tensions rise between the two, Jake begins his investigation into the scientist's death as his first order of business. Jake urgently contacts Max for a meeting and discovers that the accidents in Afghanistan and Hong Kong were not due to satellite malfunction, but rather caused intentionally by someone. The scientist who died in deep space had a hard disk containing crucial information that could reveal the identity of the culprit. Jake and the space station leader embark on a dangerous mission to retrieve the hard disk. After successfully obtaining it, they analyze its contents and realize that someone has inserted a virus into the system, which is manipulating the satellites and changing the. Meanwhile, Hong Kong's head seeks out Max to share information about a particular project but is fatally pushed by a stranger before he can provide all the details. Max and his agent friend witness the incident, and Max learns about the project before Hong Kong's head dies. Jake and Max work together to investigate the virus and its origin, leading them to discover that it was a deliberate act by a person with a sinister motive. The virus's orders are causing natural disasters, and the Earth is in danger of destruction once again. With the help of their team, Jake and Max work to neutralize the virus and prevent further damage. They uncover the identity of the culprit and bring them to justice, saving the world from the impending catastrophe. Jake updates Max on recent events and reveals that someone has implanted a virus into the system, causing Dutch Boy to control other satellites and altering the weather in places like Afghanistan. This sinister plot aims to use Dutch Boy as a weapon to destroy successful nations, and a man from the space station is responsible for the virus insertion, under orders from someone in high authority, possibly Max's boss or even the president. Max questions why the president would be involved in such a scheme, but Jake explains that Dutch Boy is being used as a weapon to target prosperous countries with the potential for future success and improved economies. With the help of a hacker, Max gathers information and confirms the Hong Kong head's account. They uncover files outlining the plan to destroy successful, developed nations, and realize that only a high-level authority could operate such a top-secret scheme. Max begins to suspect the president of being behind the chaos caused by the infected Dutch Boy satellite. He decides to attend a public gathering that the president is also scheduled to attend, hoping to gather evidence. Meanwhile, devastating weather events, such as a massive hailstorm in Tokyo and freezing temperatures in Brazil, continue to wreak havoc, all due to the virus-infected Dutch Boy satellite controlling other satellites. The situation worsens as the virus spreads to all the other satellites, generating geostorm alerts and threatening to annihilate the world in the next half hour. To prevent this catastrophe, Dutch Boy needs to be relaunched and reset. However, the system requires biometric access to restart, which Max realizes he needs to obtain from the president. Despite his anger at the president's actions, Max devises a strategy to gain access to the president's biometric data, hoping to save the world from destruction. Max confides in his boss about his suspicions that the president might be involved in a plan to destroy developed countries. However, his boss's reaction is unexpected as he asks how Max knows about the specific project. Max is taken aback as he realizes that his boss is involved in the conspiracy. In fear of his boss's intentions, Max manages to escape and confides in his agent friend, who was responsible for the protection of the president. She willingly fires at the president's public gathering, enabling them to take the president into their custody. Max reveals the truth about the conspiracy to the president, but they are pursued by some of Max's boss's henchmen who start firing at their car. Meanwhile, strange weather patterns start emerging, including earthquakes and hailstorms. Jake reveals that he had set up Dutch Boy to self-destruct in the event of a geostorm warning, in order to prevent it from causing damage on Earth. However, this would also result in the destruction of the space station. The scientist had only a few minutes to escape from the space station after discovering a virus had been implanted in a Dutch Boy. Jake ordered everyone to evacuate in a shuttle but then discovered that the culprit behind the virus was their own team member, the station commander, who had charged a large sum of money for his misdeed. In a confrontation between Jake and the commander accidentally opened the windows of the station section, causing the boy to be propelled into deep space. Fortunately, Jake's companion managed to save him before they too were launched into space. However, the damage was done. The Dutch Boy's uncontrolled journey caused widespread destruction across the world, including a tsunami and massive storm in Mumbai and a heatwave in Mexico. While all the other scientists boarded the shuttle to escape the disaster, Jake remained behind until the station commander returned to help him. Meanwhile, in a separate incident, Max fought with his boss, who was ultimately apprehended by the president. In a shocking revelation, the boss admitted to wanting to become president himself and had caused the accident in order to force the president to resign and hand over the presidency to him. The boss was subsequently arrested for his actions. With the use of the president's biometric, the Dutch boy system is successfully restarted, resulting in the destruction of the virus and an end to natural disasters. Despite being inside the station that was about to be destroyed, Jake and the station commander managed to hide in an old satellite. Eventually, they drift through deep space, unsure of their fate. Fortunately, the scientists are able to locate and attach their satellite to a spaceship, allowing them to safely return to Earth. After their return, a new space station is constructed and Jake is appointed as its commander. He also regains his job. The movie concludes with the successful establishment of the new space station, leaving the viewer with a sense of hope for the future. Comment down your personal favorite part of the movie and don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button.